everyone, this is JamieStarr for the New World News Network. On this video, this is sort of a follow-up. You know, occasionally I throw in these side videos to kind of break up the monotony of just doing the news. And the first video I did like this was the Copper Cab, Gavin McGines, Milo Yiannopoulos compilation video I put together. And I have to say, I was very naive when I posted that because I was relatively unaware of who Copper Cab was, and I didn't realize that he is like the ringleader mega troll of the internet. And of course, there are other people who are, I guess, less skilled at trolling that flock to him and everything. And I mean, there became this giant debate on my page about, is he a troll, is he not a troll? And of course, I made some comment where it was like, who really cares? Because in the context of my other videos, who really cares? That was one little video I put out for everyone to laugh at. So it wasn't anything serious. Well, of course, that started issues. And, you know, occasionally I'll interact with these people because, let me tell you, trolls on the internet are like what leftists are to society. You know, people who want to tell you, oh, that's a microaggression, you can't walk on the opposite side of the street of a black person, but if you walk on the same side of the street, you can't look them in the eye, but you can't look away from them, but you can't look down at your shoes, because that's all racist. I mean, they're basically that. And their main move, though, is to tell you how you feel, to tell you how you're interpreting this, which is the same thing leftists do, is they will try to tell you, oh, well, if someone does this, they do this, that is this. You know, this is only perceived as racism. This is only, you know, if you talk about abortion, well, then you're anti-woman. You're being a misogynist. It has nothing to do with how you really feel about the child in the womb or anything like that. So there's a level where I will entertain this because I look at it, it's like sparring. It keeps me sharp. And we'll see all this exemplified. There is a much longer comment, you know, conversation on here, but I wanted to illustrate this one because it beautifully shows all of the tactics perfectly and how to respond to them. And again, the funny thing is as you can see, you tell people to chill and then get worked up over idiots. Good job. Anyone who really knows me, I mean, look at the stuff I cover. That's stuff I get worked up over. Government infringing on freedoms, the fact that you don't have a say-so as to what gets injected into your child if you want them to go to the school system. And even like I said in here, I live in one of the third most dangerous cities in the country. Like, I have so many dead friends, like, and it's really bad, I'm laughing at this. I have so many dead friends from shitty circumstances. To think I get, like, worked up over people online is so funny because it's like, oh, my actual concerns are, like, if I'm gonna get robbed walking to work or not, because there's been attempts at that. Like, those the real, and it's when you look at it like this, oh, some moron behind a computer, can I make it to work safe or not? Like, where do you really think I'm going to be concerned about the kid at his computer? So anyway, person says this, and I said, of course, I love how the internet makes people function in presumptions for the sake of circle jerking their ego. It's like someone's mood doesn't change daily. Or I might tell people to chill, it's not that serious, but then entertain morons the next day because I'm bored and could use some entertainment. You tell people they're inconsistent so you feel better about your own sad state. Good job. And this is a fact. I mean, I don't have it within my personality or my character to go around YouTube, find people's comments, and then try to correct their conduct on how they're speaking or anything. Like, that's the shit I don't have time for. And I mean, that's the whole thing where it's like, this is a giant engagement of the pot calling the kettle black. So then, of course, here, look at you. You got so worked up over a 2-sentence comment because they're these geniuses and everything is obviously in this code. They have these Professor X powers. So regardless how you respond, they will tell you, how they want you to feel about it. That's what it is. They're not saying how you feel. They're saying how they want you to feel because it makes them feel good. It's a whole ego game going on. Also, if you're bored, go do something productive with your life. If you see getting worked up, again, I don't know how you think I'm worked up, by idiots as entertaining, then you're in a pretty damn sad state yourself. Oh, I'm so sad. Oh, and for the record, I made that comment partially as a joke and to give you the hint because I'm so ignorant and so stupid that I need this divinity coming through my comment section to guide me in my conduct. I'm lowering myself to their level, this person's level. Again, we'll see this in all my responses. Not to feel better about myself, so I guess you function as much in presumptions as you claim I do. See ya, smiley face. And that's how you can tell again. This is them just boosting their ego. It will always seep through. It's the smiley faces that do it. You know, big cheese face up above, little smiley face below. They think they're being cute because they think they're getting the response they claim they're getting. So, here I say, you wish, productive. I just put out a new album and 5 videos this week. What have you produced or created recently? I mean, seriously, I do productive in my sleep. Arguing with idiots in the comments is intellectual sparring. It keeps me sharp for any stupid arguments I might have to debunk. But by all means, thank you for your kind words of guidance. I don't know what I would do without properly advised comment conduct from the likes of you. Let me make something crystal clear. And here's the thing where I said, I live in the 3rd most dangerous city in the country. People dropping like flies, all from shady circumstances. To think a handful of letters on a computer screen from some anonymous chump could even start to work me up is only you trying to flatter yourself. And that's the reality of it. It's letters on a computer screen. Like, I'm old. Like, I remember dial-up. I remember before emojis and Facebook. Like, this shit, it's just a box. It's like a TV. Like, if the TV told you, jump off the bridge, are you going to jump off the bridge? If the TV, like, I find it amazing that anyone gets worked up period over anything on computers. It's the internet. Like, people create fake news all day. I mean, me and a friend had a whole singing career for a fake person we put out who was really emotionally engaged with people. It was amazing. But I mean, why? So again, I find it all funny, and that's the thing that this person doesn't get. Yet it clearly does based on your replies. Again, because they're like trying to psychoanalyze anything, and because it's a troll, anything you say will feed into their game. Because you respond, you must be upset. And he thinks, or she, they think I don't get this. Like, it's a game for them. I understand it. The funny part is as we go on, we'll see them try to call me childish when it's again just them projecting. The whole thing's an exercise in projection. From upsetting you further by ending the conversation here. Remember that. They're ending the conversation here. Have a nice day. So of course I respond, oh, I forgot about you, Professor X Mind Reader types. Hold on a second, I gotta let my dog out. I forgot about you, Professor X Mind Reader types, who magically gauge emotions through text. Again, as I'm trying to ground this and say, these are just black and white letters on a screen. You can't tell either which way. And again, I don't have the ego to tell someone how they feel about something. Like, the insane level of how full and narcissistic and confident you must be to really go to someone and tell them how they feel about something. I mean, it's like, you might as well walk up to someone grieving at a funeral and say, oh, well, look on the bright side. There's plenty of things to be happy about. Like, you're a dick. Like, you're a dick just because of that. So anyway, again, this is your ego talking. Wishful thinking. It all is wishful thinking. They're hoping they get a rise, and anything you say is evidence to them of them getting the rise they want. This is how children behave. This is a child in the back of the car saying, are we there yet? Are we there yet? Are we there yet? Parent says, no. 2 minutes later, are we there yet? Are we there yet? Are we there? No. Are we there yet? Are we there yet? If you ask again, you're grounded. And that's what you need to do. These are kids that haven't been grounded enough. Here's a tip. You don't know me personally, therefore you are incapable of personally attacking me, yet seem to think you can bother me personally. Hysterical. That all seems logical to me, right? I mean, it's not like they can say, oh, well, you're a scumbag because you cheated on this girl, or, you're a scumbag because of this deep, dark secret. They don't know anything about me. And that's, again, why they just will go off of whatever you say and say, I mean, that's the trick about interacting with trolls. That if there's any point or lesson I learned, or I put forth to someone who doesn't already know this, what you say is irrelevant. That's the message. I mean, there's plenty of times where you'll be talking to people and they'll be saying something, you'll say something else, and they just continue with what they have to say. A lot of times, talking is irrelevant. People already have their minds made up. Especially when it even comes to little kids, you'll hear all these parents, they'll be like, oh, my kid misbehaved, but why did they do that? Oh, well, they did it because they felt like they were scared, because if you knew the truth, so they lied to you. Talking's irrelevant. Talking is so overrated. So, anyway, let me talk some more for you. But you're just jerking off your own ego, stroking it with your false presumptions. Ha! Let this serve as first-hand experience why I do this and lower myself to your level. See, this is the whole thing. The exact behavior he tried to tell me I shouldn't be engaging in is the behavior we're engaged in. And of course, they obviously don't have a problem with that because it's an ego exercise for them. So, I'm lowering myself to your level, considering we are now engaged in the same behavior you initially complained about, because you are funny. Your presumptions are so far off base that it's hysterical, and I always enjoy someone telling some jokes. So, of course, the person who's done with the conversation, of course, comes back to say, you mean the same Professor X mind-reading abilities you used to decide why I posted my original comment. Not true, and I explain that below here. No, I wasn't mind-reading, I was profiling you. There's a difference. There's a difference between going to someone and saying, you are getting worked up, you feel this way, you are bothered, and me saying, okay, what type of person would go around to the internet, try to find someone commenting saying one thing, then seeing them engaging with people, and then me trying to tell them they are inconsistent. A sad person with an ego issue, obviously. I mean, this isn't me mind reading, this is called psychology, so. Also, whether I know you personally or not is irrelevant. You're displaying. How am I displaying? Through text. Text. Now, there have been plenty of times anyone in a relationship in the modern day knows things get lost through text messages. Sarcasm, emotions. I mean, it's black and white letters on a screen. There's no way to decipher feeling from text. That's why we have emojis. If in case no one knew that, that's why they made emojis to better, because you can say something and then tack on a little picture and then someone will more know how you're feeling. So, you're displaying how upset you are for everyone to see and trying to convince me of the opposite is meaningless. Exactly. It is meaningless because you're a troll. So whatever you say, you're just going to interpret whichever way functions best for the sake of playing games. Now, considering the fact that you clearly aren't mature enough to take a hint and to choose to move on with your life, I believe I'll just treat you like a child and take that choice away from you by blocking this conversation. You know what I think is childish? Trying to make sure you have the last word. That's just how I see it. I think childish is saying you're done with a conversation and then not being able to resist going back to it. Have a nice day, buddy. Hope you get over these anger management issues soon. Do I seem angry? Anyone who's ever seen any of my other videos, do I seriously seem like an angry person? I mean, again, the things that do get me angry are like world government, government tyranny, personal interactions with one another, or whatever. There's a million people out here. We're talking probabilities here. Like, you're not going to get along with everyone. You're not going to be friends with everyone. You're not going to be able to trust everyone. This is the world we live in. Welcome to reality. I mean, fuck. It's so ridiculous. So, again, big cheesy face. Look at me. I'm a child. Again, childish behavior the whole way through, and then projecting it onto the next person saying, you're childish. And me trying to have rational conversation and say, you don't know me personally, so you can't bother me personally. It's all, just text on a screen. You can't decipher emotion from it. It's whatever. But no, they know. They know how you feel because it's how they want you to feel. So as I said, no, I wasn't mind reading. I was just profiling you. It takes a certain type of person to go around trying to critique the conduct of others. I wasn't trying to tell you how you feel about anything, just profiling you based off your conduct. I'm not mature enough. You're the one who said you were done and still talking. So, again, here you see, and that's the other game you can play with these trolls, is the more they talk, the more they will expose themselves. Like I said, the person was initially complaining about a conversation very similar to this and trying to tell me I am lowering myself to someone else's level. And then they lowered themselves if they were ever above it. I think they started lower than whatever. But now they are lowered, engaging in the same behavior they complained of. Doing all the same stuff that they're saying, you're doing this, I mean, I could turn around and say, hey, obviously you're worked up. You said you were done with this conversation, but you're back. You must have your panties in a bunch. But again, I'm not that type of person. I could be. I'd probably be an amazing troll, but that's just because the angle that I'm dealing with these people is much more different than what they can comprehend. So, I just figured I would throw this all out there for fun, because this is a typical conversation that you see with these people on YouTube who really, this is what they live for. Trying to get a rise out of someone, and the sad part is they're so bad at it that they have to interpret everything they do as getting a rise out of someone. So, I just figured I'd throw this out there, and also I figured I'd throw this out there as a fuck you to the person, because you're going to go and call someone childish and then try to block a conversation. Who's the childish one? Who's the one that's like, no more, I can't even carry on a dialogue because they're trying to be a dick. All I'm trying to do is just say, hey buddy, you're not bothering me, and all they're doing is, oh, but well, I can tell how bothered you are by the fact that you said you can't be bothered. I mean, jump off a bridge. When I am Supreme Commander and Dictator, which I will be running for the office of Supreme Commander and Dictator, you will be executed. I'm going to make Sharia law look like some Candyland shit. It's going to be like, oh, you have enough free time to go around being a dick on the internet? Chop off their fingers. Have a fun time typing with those nubs, buddy. So, in closing, vote for me for Supreme Commander and Dictator, because I obviously know how to handle these chumps.